Hello and welcome back to VHawks Podcast. We've officially reached that time. It's the playoffs, baby. And even though our teams aren't in it, we're very, very excited to watch supposedly the NFL's best go at it. So
Supposedly is
with
a
that,
strong
I'll kick it
term.
over to Matt.
I'd say supposedly is a strong term. Going to be a pretty short episode, only 6 games to pick, and it'll just get shorter and shorter and shorter until we're done with this thing finally.
Yeah, well, we can make it short. We could make it more games too. I believe the Ravens are going to beat nobody, and I believe the 49ers are also going to beat nobody. There's
Okay.
2 out of the 8 games done. Look at me. Somebody should hand me out a medal.
All right,
All
I'm
right.
gonna Tyler. I'm gonna give you the games, and then we'll go up in tension from there. So
Okay.
probably for the most nobody cares about game, Steelers versus Bills.
I'd also say the Eagles Tampa game is the other one of that because I don't think the winner of that's going anywhere. Um but yeah, I mean TJ Watt's out for that game. He's what got them to this point in the first place. I mean Mason Rudolph's been playing well. That offense can put up points, but I believe the Bills are just far and away the better team and without TJ Watt to disrupt things there, I don't think the Steelers have a chance in this fight. I think the Bills win. Apparently that's supposed to be a below 0 degrees game, so that should be pretty cool. Or no, that's Arrowhead. Arrowhead's below 0 degrees, and like Buffalo's like a snowy whiteout game. So
It's really going to come down to whether the Steelers' run game can keep Josh Allen off the field and Josh Allen makes a bunch of mistakes. That's really the Steelers' only way of winning.
mhm.
TJ Watt's out. I know Minka Fitzpatrick has been dealing with an injury, so that defense is not looking great right now. Um, Buffalo gets a home game after winning the 2 seed miraculously. I don't feel like they'll blow it just yet, so I'm going with the Bills.
There you go.
And to give you your wish, Eagles versus Buccaneers next.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I honestly don't think the winner of this game does anything. Do we have any information on Jalen Hurts? Is he still hurt with his middle finger? Is he good? Like, what's going on there?
I'd hardly imagine a middle finger that's been out of place, like someone took a
Right.
metal pole to it.
Yeah.
I
Quarterbacks
mean,
have played through worse though, but I don't know. I mean, they beat him in Tampa during the regular season, but I mean, if Jalen Hurts is not at 100%, then that's gonna be a problem. So, you know what? Screw it. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Win a
honestly,
home
just
game.
you just stole my thunder because I was gonna say this Eagles team sucks. We just saw Tyrod Taylor absolutely run roughshod on that defense. Defense has not been anywhere close to the same as expected to be this year. Jalen Hurts is hurt. I think
Mhm.
AJ Brown might be expected to play. I'm not sure exactly where he's at right
I
now,
haven't heard anything negative on him, so I think he's good to go.
but still, that was a not great injury to get last week. Um,
Right.
I feel like Tampa, it's not really an upset just because of how bad the Eagles suck this year,
Yeah,
but
so
I feel
the
like,
wins are very misleading.
yeah, um, I feel like the Eagles bow out early in the playoffs. So going with Tampa. Next up, I guess we'll go with this one: Browns versus Texans.
Ah, yes, one of the best storylines from the scriptwriter this season. This is a tough one, honestly. The Browns have a great defense. Browns have a great running game, and Joe Flacco has been playing out of his mind. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, has also been playing out of his mind. Locked to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Um, also got a great young wide receiving core in there. Defense is opportunistic, been playing well also, but I wouldn't put them on Cleveland's level. This is gonna be a tough one,
Yeah.
honestly. This is one of the hardest games to pick. I think you know what? And at this point, I don't care about my record. I'm just gonna pick what I want to happen. I want the Browns to face the Ravens at some point, so I'm gonna pick the Browns.
Also, we don't even have any more pick'em league for this, so
Exactly. So I mean, like, yeah. So and also, I just want to see Flacco's return to Baltimore. I think that would be really cool as a Brown, the team he's beat so many times. Like, I think that'd just be a cool story to see. Like, yeah, with the Texans going far would be great as well. Like, I'm not gonna be mad either way this game goes. But honestly, like the Texans are gonna be here for a while. Heck, they might be the next Chiefs, but let's not go that far that fast. But like Joe Flacco is not gonna be here for long. Like he's gonna retire in a couple years if he
if
stays that
not
way.
after this
So
year.
yeah, so I mean, this is kind of like the story that you're probably only going to get this year. So let's roll with it. Give me the Browns.
I'm going with the Browns not just because of the story, but we've seen Houston's offensive line have issues even with the Titans. I
Hmm.
feel like Miles, that defense is basically more based around that defensive line creating pressure and mistakes.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's going to be a few. There's going to be, I think, CJ Stroud. He's not going to be rattled, but it's going to take him maybe a quarter or two to adjust to NFL playoffs, get those shakes out. And I feel like by that point, Joe Flacco could have 7 to 14 points already on that board, and I feel like a 14 point um, difference between the Texans and the Browns defense is just too much to handle. So I'm
Right.
going with the Browns and their experience on this one.
There we go. So far, 3 for 3. That's the same pick. That's pretty good.
Next up,
Alrighty. Let's jump ship and go to Green Bay at Dallas.
I was going
Um,
to go there, so
huh?
I was going to go with that one next. So
Oh, nice. Dude, we're on the same length today. Love that.
just this week,
Yeah, it really the last week too, dude. We had a text chain and that was crazy. Um, we went to the same place multiple times, our minds did. Anyway, um, I mean, so here's the thing, like I obviously want the Packers to lose, and I know that the Packers own the Cowboys, but the Cowboys record, I think they're undefeated at home, and they just do so well there. McCarthy's revenge game, like actually in the playoffs. I think that team's going to be more ready than the young Packers who, had to have some things go their way late in the season to be able to get in. And they're the youngest team to ever make the playoffs. So I think that's going to come back to bite them. I think they're going to make some mistakes in that game that you normally wouldn't make because of the extra pressure. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I mean, honestly, like we want both of these teams to not make it far, or at least I do. So I I I just see the Packers getting out first.
honestly, I have this going the other way. Um, I feel like Green Bay is going to go into this with an attitude of we honestly might not even should have been here.
Yeah, they're playing with house money.
And Dallas is coming into this as we need to be successful this year. We can't go out early. Um, we've seen Dallas make stupid mistakes all year, even if those were mostly on the road. But we saw Detroit come in and almost hold Dallas to an L at home. They did not
Hmm.
look as dominant as they used to. which mostly a lot of those teams were not great teams, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not saying Green Bay's this defensive juggernaut, but I feel like you could say they're better than the Giants, Commanders, and maybe even the Eagles at this point.
But
And
the
I feel
Cowboys
like,
have blown out those teams.
no, what I'm saying is Green Bay is better than those teams.
Right.
Maybe the Eagles, maybe not. That's a debate, especially looking at this imploded, nuked Eagles squad right now. Um,
Hmm.
but I just feel like Cowboys might be a little tight. They're going to be a little scared. Mike McCarthy's not going to have his team ready to play like usual. Um, Also, this is to make sure that Dallas doesn't get to the NFC Championship to play the 49ers because then all the Cowboys fans are going to celebrate just for that. We need to kick them back
Hmm.
out of the wild card. So going with
Right. Well, I mean, they could still make divisional and lose. They might play. They might play the Niners in the divisional. Never know.
they're the 2 seed though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the board the wrong way. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, they could still lose in the divisional. I mean, the Rams win. The Rams could knock off the Cowboys.
Nah, don't even let it get to that point. Uh,
Oh wait, no, I guess I wouldn't know because then the Rams would go play San Fran. So never mind. I'm bugging. Lions Cowboys rematch would be, I guess, the one you'd have to pull for there. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I usually think inexperienced squads are the way to not go against it, but then again, it's the Packers. So you know what? I did call that they're going to win the Super Bowl. So you know what? I'm gonna pick the Packers till they lose. Actually, because I've been texting you, I've been texting my dad that you know what? Just because I love feeding into the negativity sometimes, like the Packers can just easily go win the Super Bowl because they own the Cowboys. They've already beat the Rams this year. They beat the Lions in Detroit this year. The Eagles are frauds. Tampa Bay went to Green Bay and did well, but how well is Baker Mayfield going to do at home in the playoffs, especially after coming off of a good week if they end up playing the Packers? And then knowing Jordan Love and the Packers and my luck, they'll flip the script against San Fran and actually beat them. So,
or San Fran will bow out in the divisional.
well,
Actually, no,
they'd
they
have
would
to
have
play.
to
No,
play.
they'd have to play the Packers in the divisional.
Well, rip.
So, if the Packers win, that is.
Yeah,
So, um, so knowing that they'll just get a bunch of injuries in the first quarter that they can't overcome.
yeah. Brock
Um,
Purdy will turn back into a pumpkin.
yep.
Well,
So
speaking
yeah, actually,
of the
you know what? Yeah,
Rams,
I'm actually gonna take the Packers just because I'm gonna pick them till they lose.
finally, the one game we had a difference. Speaking of Rams Lions,
Hmm.
who you got?
Um, it's interesting because Sam Laporta's not there. I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't think I think he's out. I haven't heard anything on it since then. I haven't really been following. Um, this is tough, man, because the Rams have looked like a really complete team as of late. Detroit just suffered a bunch of injuries, and Dan Campbell goes for it more often. I think that might come to bite him against the Rams, who especially like that offense. If you give them any extra chances, that Rams offense is going to go down and score on you. And that Lions defense can be sus at times. So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
The Detroit Revenge Tour. Honestly, I don't really have a reason for this. I just feel like there's going to be one matchup that's going to be complete chaos, and I feel like this might be it. Just
That's
because
fair.
we've seen the Rams have some issues at some points during the season, and usually when you don't expect Detroit to win is when they finally come out and just curb stomp somebody.
Hmm.
Like that Chiefs game week 1 where nobody really expected them to win except me. And the Chiefs looked like complete frauds in week one. So who knows? But going with the Lions for
There you
the
go.
final game, Kansas City versus Miami.
The
Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill's,
Hill revenge game.
yeah, um, but it won't.
Yeah, I mean, you deal with the same problem here with the Dolphins facing good teams or teams with a winning record, however you want to say it. Um, I mean, it's just so weird too, because I mean, I think the Dolphins do have the better roster as far as offense goes, for sure. Defense, their defense has come together lately, but the Chiefs has also been pretty good all year. So, I mean, defensively, they might be even. So on paper, it looks like the Dolphins should win, but playoff Chiefs are just a different breed. So knowing the Chiefs, even though they've looked atrocious at times this season, they'll somehow have it all figured out. Kadarius Toney's going to catch 4 touchdowns and have 0 drops, 0 offsides penalties, um, or something like that. But I don't know. Playoff Chiefs. That's one. There is. It's become to the point where it's like never bet against Brady or Rodgers, and I don't plan on doing that for the playoff Chiefs either. So give me the Chiefs.
Actually, I take back what I previously said. The Chiefs wide receivers suck, other than
Hmm.
Kelsey. And there's at least one player on the Miami roster that knows how to deal with the cold. Tyreek Hill.
Hmm.
And we've seen that Chiefs defense be good at times, be suspect at times. But what's more worrying is that offense. And if
Hmm.
this turns into a shootout, I'm not sure if Kansas City could stay into it, which means their defense isn't getting stops and everything is required on those wide receivers to catch passes. And can we really trust that wide receiver squad to do anything right now?
In the playoffs, I think you could.
Though we haven't seen this group of wide receivers yet in the playoffs. This will be the first time.
I don't know. It's the Chiefs, man.
This is also new Chiefs.
I used to say the same thing about Brady and Rodgers. So you're good to make your pick. I'm just letting you know what you're getting yourself into.
Also, I feel like
But
Jalen Ramsey's at least going to get him one.
yeah, I mean, hey, I'm rooting for the Dolphins. I hope the Dolphins win. I like that team. But I mean, I just it's literally just because I've learned my lesson to bet against the play certain teams in the playoffs. And before that was Brady and Rodgers. Now it's Mahomes. So that's just my own personal.
Dolphin go dolphin noise.
You can't make the dog. We'll pull up a SpongeBob clip at some point. But then that would imply you're cursing.
What?
In SpongeBob, whenever they did the dolphin noise, they were
Oh,
cursing.
yeah. Well, we're not doing
It's
that.
how they bleep it out. They do it with a
Yeah,
dolphin.
I know. Well, probably our shortest episode ever.
Yep,
Also, we're not going to
pretty
talk about
much.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Matt's I all I can say about that is why couldn't that be me? Um
You
like
want your head coach gone.
I do. I want my head coach gone. Um so I mean, hey, uh you know, all I wish is Pete didn't take a job on as a Seahawks staff because then like that would have been cool to have him come to Minnesota. Um but I just it's so weird with all the coach firings that it's up to 8 now, so it's
Quarter of the league.
25%. So it's like there's so many openings, and with Vrabel gone, he's gonna get offers from probably all the other teams. And if Pete had actually like left the Seahawks, he would be getting offers from every team. So
And
that's just
honestly,
crazy.
there's a chance we're not done yet
Yeah, there's still some other teams who could still fire their coach. So
because Tomlin's had rumors.
Minnesota, 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 Minnesota. It's not gonna happen. But
But yeah, there's been Tomlin rumors. There's been Bowles rumors. Saints coach, I don't know if they still trust him.
I mean, yeah, I honestly Tomlin and Bowles might be in the same situation, win the wild card or go home. As in like you win this
Their
game and
couch.
keep your job, or you lose and you get fired. But honestly, I don't know if you're the Steelers if you give up Mike Tomlin because again, you've never had a season below 500. So I mean like there's something to say about that. I mean, the squad's gone through so many changes throughout his tenure that it's just like it's incredible. And I mean, taking Baker Mayfield on arguably his last shot and getting him to the playoffs, like I don't know, that seems like an accomplishment. So I don't know personally. I don't know many Bucks fans their opinions on him. I know Steelers like Tomlin. Um,
But
I
it's
just know
also when
some of
is
them are
nine
not.
and eight your ceiling?
They were 10-7.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when is 9-8, 10-7 your ceiling? With just
It's not your
getting,
ceiling, that's the floor. Tomlin's floor is 9-8 because he never loses.
Tyler, listen to me. In the past few years, especially since Ben Roethlisberger left,
Right.
their ceiling has been a just above average team
Yeah, that is
that
true. In the
gets
past couple of years. Yeah.
kicked out of the playoffs almost immediately.
Hmm.
When is the point, just like Pete Carroll, where the team says, we've gotten to the point where we can't get any further with you? We need new blood in the system.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I it takes the Vikings forever. So I maybe the Steelers is the same way. But I mean, I really haven't heard too many complaints. I have a relative who's a Steelers fan. I've never heard her complain about Tomlin. So
Though I could also see if Mike McCarthy doesn't have the Cowboys ready for that game and either they get embarrassed or lose in an embarrassing fashion again, where Mike McCarthy's job is at risk.
yeah, I mean, I
Yeah, they got the two
maybe.
seed, but that's
Yeah,
not
I was
where
gonna say
Jerry wants to
you
be.
won the division and Dak's playing at an MVP level. So I mean, like, or adjacent, I guess I would say, because he's not gonna win it, but for throughout most of the season, he been playing well. He turned his last season completely around. Um, they have
But Jerry wants
entire new look
chips.
to their offense. So, and you did it all without Trayvon Diggs. So
As I said, Jerry wants chips.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I just again, I want to watch these games. I just hope they're good games. I hope the Packers lose, and I hope the Cowboys lose. So again, that game's kind of a win-win for me, and I just hope the winner of that game loses the divisional. So I mean, honestly, that's really all I can hope for. But yeah, good games. Not that the Packers or the Cowboys make it past the divisional, and the Vikings have a good draft pick. Yeah, but that's not for a couple months. So
Well, just to let y'all know, we are hopefully streaming this Sunday at 7:45 p.m. the Detroit versus Rams game. Hopefully, if everything works out with technology, we will see y'all then.
Oh yeah, that's true. We have our streaming day, everybody. We finally ironed out the details. It will be that night game, prime time, something our teams know a little too well. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Matt. And we will definitely see you guys there. We tried to pick the best slot of Sunday games because Saturday was all through Peacock. We neither of us have a subscription, so we can't watch those games. Um, but we do have ESPN, and therefore Sunday's slot was what we had to deal with. As we mentioned, Bills and Steelers were not too excited for, and I refused to watch the Packers game versus Cowboys because again, I'm kind of rooting for both teams there. So yeah, I'm just that was the best. I think that's also the best one. It's also the best story because I mean, Mike McCarthy revenge game. That's not as important as Matthew Stafford's return to Ford Field in the Lions' first home playoff game. That's super important.
Which
So,
you could also easily turn into a blowout within like 10 minutes.
oh, absolutely.
But I guess we'll wait and see.
We will see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Sunday. My brain has been dead from work, so as is pretty much every time I'm on the podcast. But yeah, catch you guys Sunday for the live stream.
Peace.